This mini documentary and virtual choir performance is being presented by Parkinson Voice Project, a non-profit speech therapy clinic that has developed an effective treatment for improving speech and swallowing in Parkinson's. Please share this video with others and visit parkinsonvoiceproject.org to learn more.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wonder if you could tell me, how has Parkinson's disease affected your daily life?
It's affected my daily life because it's a stressor for my husband and I. Stressor for my husband and I, the vice specialist. And I can't do things. I can't ride a bike. I can't do things I do before.
What kinds of things did you do before you had Parkinson's disease?
I rode bikes, I did gardening, I did walks, running, walking, I did it all. But I can't do it now. Although we did my bike, but was meant for true.
What is the number one cause of death in individuals with Parkinson's?
So there are a couple, but I think aspiration pneumonia, where food or liquid can go into the lungs and it causes a chemical reaction that's called pneumonitis, and it's termed aspiration pneumonia, and that is definitely one of the top causes of death in Parkinson's.
Is that something that can be avoided?
Yes, to some extent I think it can be. So if we are able to retain the speech volume and we are able to retain the swallowing ability, that can be done with exercise such as the Loud Crowd and the Speak Out program, that I think that can certainly help. Also, the patients do have to be very careful with eating and drinking. So a combination of speech therapy and being careful would serve to try to avoid aspiration pneumonia.
In 1998, Medicare imposed what they called therapy caps, where patients would only be able to receive a certain amount of speech therapy and physical therapy combined. When this happened, patients actually had to choose between speech therapy and physical therapy because there wasn't enough funding for them to receive both treatments. In addition, as I was working with lots of people with Parkinson's, I found that they did so well in their therapy, but because of the progressive nature of Parkinson's, they were having a hard time maintaining the results they had achieved. So in November of 1998, I left my job at the hospital and I started treating individuals with Parkinson's at my home. I did a lot of studying, a lot of reading on business practices and nonprofit management and how to run a good business. So the key was, how do you provide people with Parkinson's the amount of therapy they need that will help them not only regain their voices, but help them maintain them, but also do it in a way that is efficient and practical, where hospitals and clinics around the world would be able to afford to do it. And so that was the goal, to develop a program that was fun, enjoyable for the patients, but fiscally feasible, that it could be done. And that's what we developed at Parkinson Voice Project with our Speak Out and Loud Crowd program.
one of the things that attracted me so much to Parkinson Voice Project is that the Speak Out in the Loud Crowd program focus on helping people with Parkinson's disease be more intentional in movements that have become automatic. And by being more intentional, more purposeful, working harder, giving a little more effort to these automatic movements, the part of the basal ganglia that is more preserved, the intentional motor movement part, can now work more effectively. So getting back to your question, why am I so interested in Speak Out in the Loud Crowd, is because this program makes physiologic, neurologic sense.
Tell me your full name.
Luke Michael,
And when were you diagnosed with Parkinson's disease?
6 years ago.
Have you noticed a change in your voice or speech?
Yeah,
What have you noticed?
my voice has almost disappeared.
How is it different now from what it was before?
Before it was loud, it had bottom end. Now it's all mid-range. Speak Out to me is a number of things. It is an exercise regime that I do for my voice every single day without fail, which keeps my voice strong, and it enables me to communicate well. Again, Speak Out for me is what I do every day, every minute of every day. I speak with intent.
In their daily lives, provided they keep up with their exercises and they attend Loud Crowd, they are able to socialize with their friends and their family. They can order takeout from a restaurant. They can talk to a friend who lives far away over the phone. They can call for help if they need it. They can carry on a conversation, something they couldn't do before. So many people say that prior to doing Speak Out, they felt so isolated that, maybe they went out to breakfast once a week with friends and they stopped doing that because they knew people couldn't understand them, and people eventually stopped calling them.
Have you noticed a change in your voice or speech?
Not really. It seemed to be about the same to me.
Okay. Has anyone else said anything to you about your voice?
Oh yes, definitely.
What have they said?
Well, they said I don't speak up loud enough.
Well, Loud Crowd, I like going over and doing the once a week program because you get a camaraderie of people that you go and see once a week and see how they're doing, and you talk about things. And so I like going to that. My wife is my caregiver, and she goes over and gets with other caregivers, and they talk about what's happening in everybody's world.
The Loud Crowd is what makes it. Without the Loud Crowd, I wouldn't be coming every week. It wouldn't be checking to make sure I'm doing my exercises as nearly daily as possible. It may be only 5 days a week, but I do it as nearly daily as possible. Although the practice is very important, the accountability to all of my fellow Loud Crowd members, that is very important. The social activity with these folks that are all in the same boat. That's important. The sharing of information that, okay, your doctor says this, I'm getting this medication, I've found that this exercise is helpful. All of the information that we as different Parkinson's patients have had different experiences and so can share with one another. That's important. But perhaps the most important thing is simply, I guess the word is camaraderie. Getting to be around people who have maybe a similar problem and get to where it's not a fight that we're going through, but it's learning how to live with what we have. And we have many examples around us of folks in different stages with different situations. And we're able to share this. We're able to share this. And loud crowd, it's important.
When COVID hit, the main thing I was concerned about is that if people with Parkinson's stop doing their speech exercises, their speech and swallowing can start to decline in a matter of days.
Parkinson Voice Project wasn't about to let the pandemic put their patients' speech and swallowing at risk. They began offering online speak out practice sessions using Facebook Live.
Categories. I want you to name food that people typically eat at a baseball game. Go ahead. Food that people typically eat at a baseball game.
Hot dogs, popcorn, ice cream, beer, French fries, nachos.
Now, name as many different baseball teams as you can think of in 10 seconds.
Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees.
The change that I see is she is enthusiastic about this. She wants to get up and get going in the morning and not let anything get in the way of participating at 10 o'clock. That's exciting.
When we first started offering the Facebook Live sessions, I think maybe there were 30 or 40 people on. And just yesterday, we had 154 people live with me on Facebook. And then there are hundreds of other patients who are watching the recordings later. But with 7 to 10 million people worldwide with Parkinson's and 90% of them likely to experience speech difficulty, we have a lot of work to do.
I think in the future, having these guided courses every day and available to anybody online is going to do wonders for Parkinson Voice Project. They're going to get the message out to a ton more people, and it basically makes them a lot more accessible.
Since COVID, we have not been able to treat patients in the clinic. Consequently, what we've done is we have operated through teletherapy, and it has been amazing, the results we can see. Patients are still able to be treated, which is so critical with people with Parkinson's, that they continue to receive that treatment. One of the factors of Parkinson's is there is often low motivation, and that's due to the reduction of dopamine. So if we aren't able to treat them in the clinic or have them come in for loud crowd and they're not motivated, they're not going to be doing their exercises at home.
The reason teletherapy or telemedicine may be actually a really good thing for patients with Parkinson's disease, there are a couple of reasons. One is it can be hard for patients to get to the therapy room. Okay, it can be very difficult, whether in an area where I live in New York City, where patients, have trouble walking up and down the stairs or commuting, And it can be difficult in a more rural area where patients have to have someone drive them. And so by being able to use the computer, it can increase the opportunity for them to participate in therapy, which can be really important. But the other thing is, think about this. When you talk on the phone or when you talk through, FaceTime or Zoom or any of the computer video programs, you talk louder, you work harder, you speak with intent. You don't just sit back like you're in a room with someone and talk automatically. So the very nature of being in front of a computer makes all of us speak with more intent. So it's ideal for speak out in the loud crowd therapy.
Parkinson Voice Project's vision is to replicate Speak Out and the loud crowd worldwide so that people with Parkinson's everywhere will have access to this remarkable program. In 2020, 248 grants were awarded.
I meet with the primary SLPs at the grant sites and sometimes their administrators to talk about their programs, the challenges that they have, the goals that they've set for themselves. And I try to give them ideas about how to market their program, how to bring people in, how to reach out to movement disorder specialists and other stakeholders in their communities so that they can boost their programs. I mean, it's all about helping people with Parkinson's regain strong voice, clear speech. And everything that I do that helps a grant site means more people are helped.
All right, I have that down. So I'll put his information in, and we will be mailing his workbook out to him this week. So hopefully you'll have it by the end of the week or at least the beginning of next week, all right? Okay, and I just wanted to mention that we are a nonprofit organization, so we're happy to mail it out to you at no charge, but we do include a donation envelope. So if you'd like to help pay it forward for someone else to get a workbook, we certainly appreciate that.
Since Parkinson Voice Project developed the Speak Out program, our board made a commitment to provide a Speak Out therapy workbook to every person with Parkinson's in the United States who is receiving Speak Out. There's several reasons that we're doing this. One thing, we want them, because they're going to have to do their exercises all the time, we want them to have their own workbook. We want to make sure they get the full workbook. So we ship out these workbooks every week. As of June 2020, we have distributed more than 11,000 workbooks. Sing Out was originally kind of like a family talent show. In 2006, I was working with a gentleman in therapy, and he was reading the Gettysburg Address, and he sounded amazing. I mean, when he came in for his evaluation, you could barely hear anything. And then by the third week of treatment, he was reading the Gettysburg Address as if he was Abraham Lincoln. He sounded great. And I said, how would you like to read that speech to a whole crowd of people? And he said, no, no, I don't want to. But that's what actually gave me the idea, like, wouldn't this be fun if I could get a group of people together to read speeches and poems together? They would have to practice a lot, so they would be getting a lot of exercise for their voice, and then their families would get together, and it would be a day to celebrate them. So in 2006, it was more like a talent show. And then the thing is, it kept growing. The first year we held it, 70 people showed up. The next year, 140 people showed up. The next year, 200 people, then 400 people, then 800 people. And it's like, okay, hold on. We cannot do these speeches and poems and all of this anymore. Let's start singing.
Teach me how to grow? All right, but pay attention. This is not as easy as it seems. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Rockin' all week with you. Little girls. Ooh, I love the loud crowd.
Hi, I'm Luke Michael, and I'm fortunate that I found out about Parkinson Voice Project just in time to restore my speaking abilities. Unfortunately, there are hundreds of thousands of people worldwide living with Parkinson's who don't even know that effective speech treatment exists. Over the next 15 years, Parkinson Voice Project will continue replicating its programs across the globe. They will build their endowment to financially secure the organization, and they will purchase the building that they currently lease. I have every confidence that they will achieve this and so much more. In just a moment, you're going to hear 225 people with Parkinson's and their family and friends singing with intent. After the performance, will you please share this video with your family and friends? Help us reach people with Parkinson's before it's too late. Thank you for participating in our 15th anniversary celebration. Enjoy the performance.
There's a place we found when we've lost our way, where we can fly again and start to sing.
There's a place we go where we can make a choice to strengthen heart and mind and voice. When winds blow hard, our flight may slow. sinking down, so we need to try to sing like a nightingale, to laugh like a child, to find a voice that will carry all the wisdom of our lives, to have loved ones understand that brings unending joy, a simple action with intent. We find our voice. It's the hands that help us, it's the friends we make, it's more than good prescription, it's the music we create, the voice we thought we lost, it comes to carry a tune, and join the soulful garden, where harmony can bloom. When winds blow hard, our heart is slow, the journey is new, don't know where to go. Words are sinking down, so we need to try to sing like a nightingale, to laugh like a child, to find a voice that will carry all the wisdom of our lives, to have love and understand that brings unending joy, a simple action with intent. We find our voice. Speak up, speak out, be in control. Right, clear voice, the aim, the goal. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Raise the volume in between. To sing like a nightingale, to laugh like a child, to find a voice that will carry all the wisdom
are you? My name is Jody. I don't know. I love you. Goodbye.
Mean what you say and say what you mean. Raise the volume in between.